Too often times we hear people talk about what we don't have or what they wish we had. So my approach to this is just to help share with people what all is available. When people start to become more engaged, then it just makes everything richer. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to our community. Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
It's great to be with you again today. We are coming to you from the I've Decided Studios here in Peoria, Illinois, and our community is sponsored by I've Decided and
the Greater Peoria Family YMCA.
That's right. Where when you belong to the Y,
you belong to something greater.
That's right. And I've Decided is a great partner of ours. And just for everybody out there who doesn't know, they are a personal and professional development company who's going to help you achieve all your goals and all your dreams.
All your goals.
All right.
All your dreams too. That's great.
It is great. It is great. And speaking of achieving your goals and dreams, today we're going to talk to you about the word rejuvenate. Right? Rejuvenate. And just quickly, before we get into that though, let's back up.
Okay.
I want to take a minute and I want you to tell everybody what's happening at the Y.
Oh.
Right? What's going on at the Y
Sure.
that people need to know about or that they can participate in or look forward to if they're thinking about that. It's back to school time. People are thinking about, hey, it's time to get back into my health and wellness routine. Summer's coming to a close, sadly, but
time to rejuvenate some of your health and
wellness goals.
Yeah. So we have just a couple of great things going on right now. There's more kind of off in the distance that we can't share yet. We're really excited about, but
a little teaser.
We have some great things on the horizon. This fall, we've got our Fall into Fitness membership promotion. So if you're thinking about joining a gym, you want to come over to the YMCA, your first month will be $20.21. And we also are reintroducing basketball leagues.
Awesome.
So they're coming back. And then in October, it is. It's about time to get back on the court. And then in October, we are hosting our first disc golf tournament.
Nice.
And there will be more information on the Y's webpage and Facebook page, but it's Game of Thrones themed.
Really?
It is the Game of Throws disc golf.
Interesting.
Yeah. So a lot of fun things happening. Come on out to the YMCA.
Yeah, we would love to see you at the YMCA, where we are seeing lots and lots more people.
We are,
right?
Yep.
Which is a really good thing.
Yep.
So let's get back to the purpose of our discussion today. We're going to talk about the word rejuvenate, and just to define it, kind of set some parameters for it. Rejuvenate is defined as to give new energy or vigor to revitalize, right?
Yep.
And I think that makes a lot of sense. And given the land, I think we talk about this every time we're here. COVID has been a challenge for everybody. It's been a little deflating, I think, or a lot deflating. There's been a lot of starts and stops because of it as we've kind of gone through this process. And I think it's impacted us and our ability in some ways to be successful, right? Because there's a lot of different barriers that have come our way or obstacles that have been put in front of us. I think about it from the Y perspective. It's, hey, you can open up, you can let people come back in. Oh, wait, you got to put your mask back on. You got to do those things.
Right.
And that limits people. And it really becomes somewhat of a deflator if you allow it.
And even the way that we talk about it needs some rejuvenation, right? Like we talk about, oh, this is the new normal. Well, no, let's talk about reimagining what your health and fitness looks like.
Sure.
We could be a little bit more positive about it. And I think we try to do that at the Y.
I agree. But it's important, I think, for us to talk about, for the listeners out there, those that are watching online, what's the process for rejuvenating? What are the important things that you need to think about? If you're going to rejuvenate your goals, so you've gotten derailed, you've gotten sidetracked, you've hit some roadblocks, whatever, and it's time to kind of refocus, rejuvenate, build some energy back into all of those things that you've planned for yourself or for your business, just to help people kind of create a framework.
Sure.
Right, on how they're going to do that. So we've got some tips. There was a great article in this week's resource that Kim set out for the I've Decided community on how to rejuvenate your goals. And we're going to go through that. But there's also, I think, and it's some important factors that we need to understand that were a part of the article that that are influencers, right?
Yes.
Either
Both
positive or
Yep.
negative for your success.
Yes.
We want to jump into those first. And the first one is fears. We're going to talk about fears.
Yeah.
Fears get in the way.
What are you afraid of?
Yep. And you've got to, I think, understand what those fears are, how they affect your ability to be successful, and you got to come up with a strategy, I guess, to overcome that, eliminate that fear.
Yeah. It starts off with understanding that we all have fears, right? We all have things that may stand in the way, but recognizing them is kind of like the first step in overcoming them, right? You got what's holding me back, and maybe it is something that that you have to do that just is not very comfortable.
Yep.
But if you're avoiding it because you're maybe a little bit afraid of it, then you're not going to be able to take that next step towards your goal.
Yep.
So fears can definitely
it's going to limit you.
And
one of the things that I think about is if there's really a fear, I mean a deep rooted fear that's holding you back, I think what's something that somebody can do is to find somebody else who's overcome that challenge, or somebody where it's not a fear for them, and latch onto that person, connect with that person, and kind of learn about how do they go about dealing with that situation.
Sure.
Right. So you're not doing it alone.
Right.
Right. Or maybe there's somebody else that does share that fear, and you can join forces,
talk through it,
overcome it, right? Together as a team, which makes it a lot easier. It's always easier to go through challenges in life when you've got somebody by your side.
Right. Which is another one of those things that can influence your goals, reaching your goals, and that's environment. And
that's right.
Surrounding yourself with the right type of people, whether they're, you don't want to commiserate too long with somebody, but it's nice to know that somebody is also going through the things that you're going through or feeling the same way.
Yeah,
but also finding a mentor.
The same thing, that you don't want it to be a pity party, right? So you got to be careful that doesn't this suck, right? Let's just wallow in our fear and give each other a reason why we don't have to move past it. And it needs to be somebody who's going to help, maybe even just drag you through it.
True.
Right. If that's necessary. So you got to be strategic. In regard to how you latch onto that person. But you're right, that environment is critical. And I feel like every month when we're having this conversation, no matter what the subject is, we talk about the environment. Who are you surrounding yourself with?
What's the culture at work? Culture at home.
Who are your friends, and are they supporting your dreams? Are they encouraging you? That is absolutely critical in just about every phase of life. Another one is dreams. Right? Do your dreams really align with your goals? We were talking about this before we went on camera. And if you aspire to be a CPA, right, and you have goals set up, you want to be a CPA, but you dream about being an airline pilot all the time, those two things don't align, right?
No, they don't.
You've got to make sure that your dreams are aligned with whatever your goal is.
Yes.
Right? It has to be supportive of that. So maybe if you're dreaming about being an airline pilot, you need to have some goals to become an airline pilot, right? If that's constant. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's an example of they got to be together.
Maybe just looking at those dreams and really examining whether your goal of being a CPA and your dream of being an airline pilot is that really a professional dream? And
True,
and not being distracted by that thing, because that could be a really fun hobby.
And the important thing I think to realize is your dream, if whatever that dream is, it's going to dictate your behavior. Right. So you got to make sure that it aligns with your goal. I think that's really important. Results is another one. So, when you think about results, sometimes when you're pursuing a goal, it's hard, right? And you work and you work and you work. You're you're slaving away every day, attacking a weight loss goal, and you step on the scale every Monday morning and nothing's changing, right? There are those results. You can't let them stop you from accomplishing your goal. You may have to reflect and maybe readjust some
Right.
of your actions.
Reevaluate what you're doing.
Right.
Taking stock of how you ended up where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll probably, if you're really being honest with yourself, you will probably be able to find some silver lining there too. Right?
Sure.
Hey, I'm not hitting my weight loss goal, but I have been to the gym,
Mm-hmm.
every day for the last month. I've made some really good friends. I'm
True.
doing some new things.
True.
I feel better about myself throughout the day. Maybe I have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
But you've also probably learned about some resources that you might have where you could go and ask somebody, hey, I've kind of hit a plateau.
Right.
And again, that comes back to environment, right?
Yep. And it also leads into the next one, which is knowledge, right? Education.
Yep.
Right. If you're struggling, following along with that example of weight loss, if you're struggling with not losing the weight at the pace that you thought you would, or you should, or you could, maybe there's some more education that needs to take place. You need to learn a little bit more about your body, about the chemistry of your body, or the food that you're taking in, or the way that you're exercising, that will help you be able to adjust,
right,
and make a change with how you can achieve that success.
Yeah.
So
knowledge can really be either a barrier or an opportunity there for
Right.
you, right? Are you in anything? Are you constantly feeding your brain and yourself with good information that is, maybe it's centered around your goal, maybe it's just loosely centered around your goal,
Yep.
things that you're interested in. But if you aren't learning, then you
Right. Well, I think your actions follow your knowledge, right? And I think I've talked about this before on other shows, but several years ago, I made a commitment to lose 50 pounds, right?
That's right.
And I was going at it. I've worked in the Y for 22 years now. So 15 years into my Y career, I had been around the environment that would support me to lose that weight. And I was working out and doing things, but never losing the weight. So I had to educate myself and go through a whole program, with people that would teach me about the importance of diet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I lost half of that weight without exercising. It was just changing my diet and how I approached what I was putting in my body, and the weight just started falling off. I didn't do anything for 6 months other than focus on diet.
Yep.
So knowledge is important.
Absolutely.
And you may not have enough of the right knowledge to help you be successful. So that's a really important thing, to make sure you're learning things the right way and you're pursuing the education, from the right sources and the right places. I think that's really important. And then I think the last one that we'll talk about, and then we'll move on into the tips to rejuvenate your goals, is events. What are the things in your life that are happening regularly that are preventing you from achieving success? And what are the events that maybe should be happening regularly that are going to help propel you? And we're not talking about events like holidays, Christmas and
flat tire.
Yeah, those types of things. We're talking about things that happen in your life regularly that are prohibiting you from achieving success. And I know you have some examples that you wanted to share.
If we're talking about diet, maybe it's, oh, I don't want to take the time to make dinner tonight. I'm just gonna run through McDonald's or some other fast food and pick up something that may not be the best for me.
Right.
Or it's really easy for us to get sucked into the TV, or like a lot of us watch sports and we're not all that active, right? So I'm choosing to do something instead of maybe heading to the gym or hitting up a class at the YMCA.
Or maybe it's this, right?
Yeah.
Scrolling on your phone, on Facebook.
Yeah. Social media,
Twitter
can turn itself into an event.
I've fallen into that trap where, you sit down after dinner and you're like, oh, I'm going to check out. I got 8 notifications on Facebook. And then an hour later,
and you have very little to show for
Yeah,
it.
there's nothing to show for it
And-
other than maybe some additional frustration.
And the knowledge that you
Yeah, it's
gained
pretty useless.
is pretty useless,
Yeah.
and you could have been using that to.
Although, sometimes those TikTok videos that pop up on there are
That's
very
true.
funny, right? But
That's
let's
true.
give it a little bit of credit. But yeah, you're right. It can be a barrier, right? It can be an event that sometimes people really struggle with that.
Yeah, could be an impulse buy. That's keeping you. If you're an impulse buyer, you're keeping yourself from financial stability, or I want to save up money for Christmas presents for the kids, and but there's this really shiny thing over here, and I think I need to have it. But
I need this watch.
Yeah.
Right. Or something like that.
So beware of unworthy events.
Yeah. Create positive events that happen regularly that are going to support you to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe those are journaling. Maybe every day you take 10 minutes just to journal, and reflect on what you did that day so that you can be sure that you're spending your time effectively to help you achieve your goal. Right. Because if you start to write down the events of your day, you're going to start to recognize maybe some patterns of things that are happening that you're like, you know what, I can eliminate that.
Yep.
I can eliminate that, this or that, or I need to do more of this thing because it really made me feel good and it really helped me to move forward.
Yeah.
So just some examples. So there's a lot of things that happen that are, factors for success. That's a few of them highlighted in the article that Kim sent out this week. And I think they're good. And there's some good information there.
They are.
So let's shift now and let's talk about the 5 tips to rejuvenate your goals. So we've gone through the year. It's not too late to refocus.
There's still time yet in 2021.
We're in the third quarter. I mean, there's a lot of, if you think about it from a sporting event, because
the game's not over.
Heck no, there's a lot of great things that happen in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
For the teams that are struggling to overcome and achieve victory, right? And I think if you look at it from that framework, we still got 3.5 months of the year left.
Yep.
Right? There's over 100 days or close to that left of the year, and we can build some success still out of this year and use that as a springboard in next year. So the first tip is write it down.
Yeah. Well, you just kind of touched on that from a keeping track of your goals perspective. But when you're doing that journaling and you're thinking about that stuff, write your goal down at the top of the page as a constant reminder that, this is what I'm working towards, and here's what I did during the day. I have an app. We have an app that Y members can have access to, where we tally up our workout at the end of the day, right? And it asks you, it gives you like 5 emoji faces. Were you happy with your workout? Were you just not so great? Was it a great workout? And it's nice to go back and look at that. I can see the effort that I put in, and also, I remember that was a great workout, and that's what I did. Maybe I need more of that. But
there's also a way to engage with other users, right?
There is.
So there's a connectivity piece to that too. But writing it down, making it real, putting it in places where you're going to see it, and remind yourself of it daily. Maybe it's in the bathroom on the mirror. Maybe it's on your rearview mirror of your car. Where is it?
On the side of that computer monitor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a roommate in college who, we had these weird bunk bed set up, but he had, we didn't call them vision boards at the time, but his whole ceiling above him was, all about becoming a doctor. And so it was just, he woke up every morning and saw that.
Is he a doctor now?
He is a scientist, not a doctor, but his goals kind of changed just a little bit.
That's all right. But that's right. You got to make it real for yourself.
Yeah.
And I would say, even from taking it a step further with writing it down, let others know.
Let others know.
Make it public.
Yep.
So then you've got the accountability piece, which I know we're going to talk about as part of this. The second tip is, you got to start with the right mindset. Okay. You got to think about the process and what you're going to go through, make a commitment to it.
And hopefully we're helping you do that right now, because it's not too late. We're telling you it's not too late. We believe in you. It's not too late. And you have to remember that, nothing worth achieving happens like that, right? It's not going to happen overnight. So the most important thing here is that you you have that mindset that you're just going to take steps towards that goal.
Right.
Now's the right time to start.
Yeah. The article used an example of fitness, and we do that a lot because that's our world, right? At the YMCA, there's a lot of that activity, and if you have a goal to become, physically fit, you're not going to do that once a week, right? So you can't commit to a process that's going to be, I'm going to go to the gym on Mondays.
It's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing, but it's not going to get you to where you want to be, right? So
Right.
you've got to think about what is the process. So in your mind, you got to know, okay, I've got to do this. Maybe it's 4 days a week, right? Or 5 days a week or whatever it is. In order to get to whatever the goal is, you got to map it out.
Yep.
Right. And you've got to have that in your mindset from the beginning that this is going to take me 6 months. It might take me 6 years, whatever it is. The doctor analogy, that's a 6-8 year time frame from all the schooling and that. So you got to know that going into it. So you can't 30 days into it say, well, I'm never going to get there.
Right.
Yeah, I can't do this. Right. You got to know it doesn't happen overnight. I think that's really important. Have a critique coach.
Yeah. This comes down to that sharing aspect.
Right.
You got to put it out there in the world and let somebody else know, and then you don't have to have somebody be like, hey, what do you, but kind of poking and that may be nice. That may be what you need, but just somebody to say, how's it going?
Right.
How are things working? And at the YMCA, we've got group exercise instructors and personal trainers, and with I've Decided, they've got success coaches to help you along the way, but it could just be your friend.
Right. Could be your spouse.
Yeah.
Could be your pastor. Could be anybody. Somebody that knows what it is you're trying to accomplish, that's going to be there for you and hold you accountable in some regards. It's, how's it going with that? Where do you need help with that? Right. Somebody that's going to make it stay in front of you. I think that's really important.
Yep.
Revisit your why regularly, and not your why as in the why, your WHY.
Yep.
Why are you doing this?
Yep.
Why is it a goal in the first place?
And is it still worthy?
True.
As you're working through things, and you're looking at and thinking of those factors that influence your goals. Is this still something that I want? Does it still align up with my dreams? Have my dreams changed a little bit?
Yeah. It's got to give you purpose.
I wanted a motorcycle. I was dreaming of a motorcycle, and then wife, we got pregnant, and she was like, "Your dreams are changing." So my goals changed too. My dreams changed. Yep. So life happens.
Yeah. The why of it is, it's got to matter.
Yeah.
Right. And you need to revisit that from time to time and remind yourself that this is important and why is it important. And that's why that whole journaling concept or writing it down in the beginning really needs to include, why are you doing this?
Yep.
Why is it important to you? Because you might lose sight of that somewhere along the way, and you need to go back and revisit that. And that whole making it visible, right? And going back and reading through your journal notes and things like that, and reminding yourself of the process of how far you've come.
Yep. Because we've talked about that before too.
We tend to forget about all the hurdles that we've overcome, and we just focus on this one challenge here today. This is the stumbling block. I can't get over this.
Right. And
you forget about all the other things that you've overcome. So I think it's really important to revisit the success, we'll say, kind of along the way. And the fifth and final tip is to have a positive tone, right? Frame things in a positive tone every day.
Yeah. And this is something that people have to practice at.
Sure.
When I started off, when I graduated from college, I wanted to be on the radio.
Yeah.
And a mentor told me a long time ago that if you want to sound positive, because people can't see your face, but if you want to sound positive, you have to put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And you have to talk and put that out there with a smile on your face. And it's funny that if you just smile and start talking, you sound like you
sound better.
You sound positive.
I agree.
You're going to come across that way.
Yep.
And you're even going to come across that way to yourself. It's easy to convince yourself that things are okay. Things are going to be okay. Just put a smile on your face, and and put it out there. Really, really talk about your goal to yourself. I think, Kim's article suggests that, we put out that goal, say it once a week. I want to lose 5 pounds this week, and I can.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say it with a smile on your face and a positive attitude, yeah. But if you're like, I want to lose 5 pounds this week, and I think I can, it just doesn't have the same effect.
Yeah. Or if you say, I need to stop being fat. Right.
Right.
You don't want to put it in that.
Of course, we all do. But
that's not
yes.
the right frame of mind to be in, right? You want to be more positive about it. So those are the tips, right? Those are the things that we have to share this month. You want to write it down. You want to think about the process. Make sure you understand how long is this going to take, so that going into it the path, right? And that could change, and you got to revisit that from time to time. Have somebody that's going to help hold you accountable, critique you, encourage you. Revisit why you're doing it. Make sure you understand what's the benefit of this, and then frame it positively. Always frame it positively. Never look at it through a negative lens. The glass is half full, right? It's not half empty. It needs to be half full. And sometimes it could be 3/4 full, or maybe it's overflowing. From time to time, it does. You have moments where it's just spilling out, right? And that's great. And then there's other times where it's not so full, but you always got to understand there's always something in the glass.
There's still water in the glass.
There's always something in the glass. I think that's really important. So hopefully this was helpful for you. We've enjoyed it being here this month on our community. We look forward to seeing you next month. So stay well, stay fit.
Hope you are rejuvenated to reach your goals, or at least start trying to get to your goals.
That's right. And we'll see you next month on our community.